So here's Wikipedia list of terrorist attacks 2015. And right in the beginning, in the very January 3rd to the 7th, you had a massacre. They say, 100 to 2,000 people. So exactly how many, but that's right up there. 2,000 is way more than 130. And this was the Boko Haram militants opened fire on northern Nigerian villages, leaving bodies scattered everywhere. So that's the 2015 Baga massacre. If you actually look at the 2015 Baga massacre, and a lot of them said that the responses of government officials were considered to be closely related to the highly contested presidential election taking place that year, that we have a presidential election going on right now. But this, in 2013, we also had another Baga massacre. So this isn't the only time that Boko Haram has just murdered a shit ton of people. They killed 37 to 228 people then. So that's a massacre that is right up there with the Paris attacks. So Boko Haram has been terrorizing Nigeria for, at least 2 years, and they are massacring, large massacre, just wiping out, slaughtering large swaths of human souls are, being extinguished. Here's one in March 20th. In Yemen, Islamic State militants in Yemen carried out 5 suicide bombings at the Badr and al-Hashush Shia Mosque during prayers in the city of Sana'a. So the 2015 Sana'a Mosque bombings, 137 people died. So that's March 20th. 137 is a greater body count than the Paris bombings. April 1st, there's 147 people were killed. 6 to 10 gunmen associated with the Islamic terrorist group Al-Shabaab opened fire at the Garissa University in Kenya. Christians were the main target of the attack, with the Islamic extremists separating the Muslims from Christians before executing them. Up to 300 students are unaccounted for. 147 students were reported killed, with fears the toll will rise, along with 79 wounded. 4 gunmen were killed by security forces. So the terrorist attack at Garissa University in Kenya, April 1st, 147 people were killed. That's greater body count than the Paris attacks. A massacre, 146 people. On June 25th, 2015, fighters from the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant detonated 3 car bombs in Kobani, close to the Turkish border crossing. So, June 25th, 146 people were murdered. On July 1st and the 2nd, again, Boko Haram militants attacked multiple mosques between July 1st and 2nd. 48 men and boys were killed on the 1st at one mosque in Kukawa. 17 were wounded in the attack. 79 others, mostly men, were killed in numerous mosques on the 2nd, with the number of women and young girls killed in their homes. An unknown number were wounded. Boko Haram claimed responsibility. They're proud of it. They give no fucks. They have no shame whatsoever with the terrorist attacks that they keep on using against Nigeria. So right now there's a talk of having an international coalition to fight for France. There was not the same talk when Nigeria got bombed, in 2013, in 2015, in the beginning of this year, in July of this year. And it happens over and over and again. It's a systemic, almost institutionalized terrorist attack, Boko Haram. So the name of Boko Haram literally translates as Western education is forbidden. They don't want to learn the ways of the West, of the Europeans, of the Americans. They don't want to know it. And unfortunately, they might have a lot of supporters because of our imperialism, our very selfish imperialism. Nigeria is burning. Nigeria has been burning for several years. And what do? We finance the military, we finance the leadership with our foreign aid to Nigeria, but the corruption, it doesn't get to the right people. So we're not, what we are doing isn't working. It's not good enough. It's almost like when we were supporting the Egyptian military for the last 30 years. And then the Egyptian people overthrew that military, and then all of a sudden, we were supporting the military dictatorship. And so we need to pick better friends. We don't need to be picking, state-sponsored terrorists. Boko Haram is translated as Western education is forbidden. Forbidden. If there's ever a group for the Western world they have a coalition of the willing to go against, Boko Haram seems like the ideal, a humanitarian intervention. Go in there just to do what is right, just to do what is good and right. But it's in Africa. It's not in Europe. It's happening to a bunch of black people. It's not happening to the West. In July 17th, also in July 17th, 100 to 180 people. Suicide car bombing. A car bomb was sent to a crowded market in Khan Bani Saad in Iraq, 30 kilometers north of Baghdad. During the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, the explosion killed at least 115 children among them and injured another 170 people and brought down several buildings. ISIL claimed responsibility and said 180 people were killed. In September, again, you got Boko Haram executing a series of blasts, some of which were suicide bombings in the northeastern city of Maiduguri, targeting a market and civilians in a mosque during night prayer and a football match. Viewers bringing the total number of casualties to at least 53 dead and over 90 wounded. The attack was said to be made using homemade weapons. So Western education is forbidden. The group whose name is the Western's Education Group is forbidden. It almost sounds like the Confederates. Charlie Manson's uncle wanted to bomb the schools because he didn't want them to go to no Yankee schools. This is terrorism, attacking civilians for a political purpose. 145 people were killed on the 20th of September. In October, we had the big airplane crash, the Russian Metrojet Flight 9268. 224 people were killed. Everybody on that flight was murdered, and ISIL-affiliated Wilaya Sena militants have claimed destruction of it. It was confirmed that the aircraft had been bombed, so that bombing of that Russian jet is a bigger terrorist attack than what had happened in Paris. It's just that Paris, France, it's like a small empire, and we've had so many Treaty of Parises. It's like the French, their imperialism, it's like when they acknowledge people being countries, then the rest of the world just goes along with it.